Now,
Recovery doesn't start tomorrow.
calling all angels.
Recovery starts right now. And here to help is Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all you angels. Now, calling all angels. Now, calling all you angels.
Welcome everybody to another edition of Rated R for Recovery. That's Rated R, the number 4 recovery.com on the web. And you can watch us on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, and all sorts of social media. I'm an addict and alcoholic. My name's John.
Hey, John.
I would like to, for those of you saying, oh, where's Joy? Well, Joy's under the weather today, and sitting in for Joy is the lovely Brittany from Kimmy's Recovery Zone.
Hi, everybody.
Along with the founder of Kimmy's Recovery Zone, Al Kinkle.
Hello. See everybody.
Real quickly, our sponsors are JCI Solutions, painting contractors, both commercial and residential. The Next Step, Dual Diagnosis Treatment Center. Brian Edwards, attorney at law. That's criminal attorney at law, Al, just in case. Shamrock Bail Bonds, in case you ever need a bail bonds. Phoenix House, Celebrate Recovery is a big sponsor of our show. White Sands, and of course, Kimmy's Recovery Zone. So, now we have some exciting news that we're doing with you, Al.
Yeah.
You with me?
Just a little bit.
Okay, just keep with me, Al.
Just keep going.
All right, so
Where's Party in the Park, John?
where is Party in the Park, Al?
Well, what date?
It is the 13th of September.
All right, and it's at the Collaboratorium right here in Fort Myers. A beautiful place, outside features, inside features, so that it's a little too hot to be outside all day. So we pulled it inside-outside event. It's going to be fantastic. You got to go. We have a senator that Rouse is going to come speak, and also he has his whole story.
Oh yes,
That's
and
made him
Brittany,
quite famous.
how do you get sponsorship for that?
Yeah, so with Party in the Park, that's going to be September 13th. Like Al was saying, it's going to be in the Collaboratory, so it's going to be inside. There's going to be some things going on outside. And if you would like to be a sponsorship for Party in the Park, you can go to kimmys.org and get a sponsorship.
Very nice. I want to thank our executive producer, Mark Santora, who makes this show possible.
Yay, Mark. Hey, Mark, Iron Man.
And our genius behind the buttons is Sharon and Pedro, ladies and gentlemen.
Hallelujah.
When you walked in, you should have received a raffle ticket, and that's good for thousands of fabulous prizes at the end of the show. If you haven't received a raffle ticket, put your hand up, keep it up, and Mark will bring you a raffle ticket. Now, the exciting news about Party in the Park, you two, you forgot to mention. Rated R for Recovery will not only have a table at Party in the Park, we'll be doing our first live remote broadcast from there. Isn't that exciting?
Wow.
It's very exciting. It is. It's very exciting. Okay, so let me introduce this gentleman sitting next to me right now. I've known him for quite some time. Please welcome Andy to the show. Andy, I'm going to ask you to talk right into the microphone when you talk. Why did I ask you to be on the show, Andy?
I'm not 100% sure, but
Okay.
we're going to find out.
Andy, are you in recovery?
I sure am.
And were you in recovery from, what was your DOC, as they say? Every time somebody says, what's your DOC, I say, I'm not in jail, because I always associate DOC with Department of Corrections. But what was your drug of choice?
I too have a direct Department of Corrections number, but my DOC was whiskey and cocaine.
Whiskey and cocaine. There's a friend of mine who has a song out called, well, it wasn't out, it was out in 1970. It was called Snorting Whiskey and Drinking Cocaine. His name was Pat Travers. In fact, he still plays guitar, still tours. Anyway,
spent many nights
Al,
like that.
Al, did you ever have Pat Travers at the bar back in New Jersey? The Pat Travers Band.
Did I ever have what?
Pat Travers, Al?
No.
No. Well,
Bruce-
he was a huge, he had 2 radio hits, Boom Boom Out Go the Lights, and Snorting Whiskey and Drinking Cocaine were his 2 big hits.
Well, there was a lot of that there
Well,
going
yeah.
on, yeah.
I'm sure there was. So, Andy, tell us a little bit of how this all started with you.
How the recovery thing started with me?
No,
Or-
the drug use, the
Oh,
drinking
well,
first.
okay. So I grew up in Naples. Moved there when I was like 6 years old. Grew up down there, and back then Naples is nothing like it is now. So don't get it like twisted. That like you know what I mean. It was I grew up actually in Golden Gate. If you know anything about Naples, or whatever, that was like that was the poor part of town, and lower middle class, and it was just it was a drug culture then. You know what I mean? Like most of our parents were either like old hippies, or a lot of my dad's friends, a lot of my friends' dads were commercial fishermen or charter boat captains. A lot of guys that got caught up in Operation Everglades. So we used to hear the stories of the the glory days of them running and bringing all kinds of stuff in town. And
Wait, not to interrupt, what was Operation Everglades?
so Operation Everglades was when the federal government came in and pretty much arrested every male over about age 16 in Everglades City because they were all bringing pot and coke, and pot and coke really is what they were bringing in, and that's how a lot of the cocaine and pot got into this country through the 1980s.
I see. And you were just a lad at the time.
I was a wee lad for that, but I heard all the stories. Yeah, I heard
Okay.
a lot of stories.
So how did your, started drinking, or how did your journey start?
So, probably I was about 12, 13 years old, and we started stealing beers and stuff from our dads and cigarettes, and, it was a cool thing to do. So, we're smoking cigarettes and drinking beer and stealing weed, and then we started smoking weed. And, I was always, because my parents, they didn't have any money, so I was always like a hustler. I'd go out, cut grass. I'd do whatever I had to do for money. And and I needed money to buy drugs to get high. And I quickly learned that I can sell these drugs, and I can get mine for free and maybe even make a little bit on the side. So that quickly turned from alcohol and weed, and by the time we're 14, 15, we're snorting cocaine and doing acid and whatever else we could get our hands on.
Now, when you said in the beginning, I'm backing up a little bit, you said you were stealing alcohol. What we did is we'd steal alcohol from our parents. Al, the same thing?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then, but you said you were stealing weed. Who were you stealing the weed from?
Oh, our parents.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Our dads were all potheads, yeah.
See, my parents were the World War II generation, and so there was not much weed smoking or acid taking in that generation of people, and there was zero cocaine.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't see cocaine till after high school, actually. But so go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, by about 14, 15, we're cocaine, acid, pills, whatever we could get our hands on. By the time I'm 16, I'm selling a fair amount of cocaine. When I was 18, I sold a couple of ounces I got set up, sold a couple of ounces to an undercover cop, and got arrested. By that time, I was working already as an electrician, and my mother realized that she didn't need to use my college fund for college, so that went to pay the attorney. And fortunately, it was enough to pay a good enough attorney to at least keep me out of jail, and I had to do probation and stuff like that. So I got clean for part of the probation period, but for most of it, I was able to like fake the drug tests and kind of get on with my life.
And then what?
Well, and then I met my first kid, first of 4, and the next 3 came 2 years. They were all 2 years apart. Bang, bang, bang. And in that time, I wasn't. I wouldn't say I was like fully, engulfed in addiction. I worked every day. I was a family to support.
What do you mean, a family to support?
I had kids.
You did.
I had
You
a wife,
skipped that
kids.
part.
Oh yeah. Well, so I had the first
Say
kid.
it.
I had the first kid while I was actually on probation, and I was 20 years old, and my first kid. And then, like I said, every 2 years after that, I had another kid.
Every 2 years? Up
Every 2
until
years
now?
until 4. No.
Okay, all right.
No, so I had one in 2000. I had one in 2002. I had one in 2000 at the end of 2000, beginning of 2005, and the last one at the end of 2006.
So what you're describing is the inability to stop during this period of time, or the desire to stop, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Brittany, you can relate to that, right?
Oh, yeah, I can relate to that. So many times I wanted to stop, even when, parents or nieces or nephews, like none of that was sufficient enough for me to stop. I just couldn't.
Right. And Al, a little bit of a different story where you suffered from this ism yourself,
Yeah.
got sober, but then watched your daughter
Yeah.
suffer for years.
Yeah, and the same with me. I had a long journey of it because I owned restaurants and bars and things like that. So it was okay for me to drink and do drugs, because I owned a bar. So it took me a long, long time to realize I was on the wrong train at the wrong time. It took me
What
a
year
long,
did
long
you
time.
get sober, Al?
I hate to say it,
1957? Just saying. Just guessing.
1937. No, it was in the 1980s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, in 1980s. So I got, something like 30 years. It's 30-odd years. I fell
So-
once or twice.
So to be a dad, and pardon me, Andy, we'll come right back to you, but to be a dad, I don't know if you know this, but Kimmy's is named after Al's daughter that succumbed to this disease. And to then have your own children suffer from this and you being, understanding the word powerless all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like I said, I had a long journey with it. I started drinking at 10 years old and smoking cigarettes and
Yeah.
different things like that. So I really got introduced early on, but I didn't really get bad till later on in life. Owning restaurants and bars and things like that where I had access. Hello.
Okay.
Scared.
All right. So Andy, you're at a point now, you've got some children,
Yes.
and you're not stopping.
No.
And keep going.
So, that was about the time, I think it was like, I moved to Lehigh from Naples, 2003-ish, bought a house in Lehigh, started a business. Things were going fairly okay. I wasn't like completely out of control. I'm a like super ultra high functioning addict. Like I could still keep it fairly, like I still go to work every day and it's like a blessing and a curse, right? Because, I can somewhat hold my life together while still being a complete raging addiction. And it's,
Well, let me ask you a question. You had your own business at this
Yes.
time. You say you can go to work every day. You're still a functioning addict, but are you using at work? Are you using all day?
no, at that time I wasn't, until, I think it was 2007. And, things were starting to go downhill. And then my sister-in-law who lived with us burned our house down. It was an accident, but she burned our house down, which caused us to have to move out. And my marriage pretty much failed at the same time. And that was after I started the business in 2002. And if everybody was here and was in business that time, remember 2007, 2008, when the circus just left town one day and everybody's left holding the bag. And
Pardon the pun.
right, yeah, and the business was failing. I received a rather large insurance payout to rebuild my home and for all my possessions in my home, which didn't go for that. And I got pretty bad, and basically, went on a bender and moved into my shop for a while and had one of my guys running the business, which was already going into the ground anyway. And he completed the rundown into the ground. I pretty much just let it happen. Spent a bunch of the money on drugs and hookers and stuff like that. And ended up, I got an offer from another company who needed somebody with a license, and they wanted to get into doing electrical work. And so I kind of got a lifeline from that. And I kind of, I straightened up my act. I started being a complete loser. And then I would just, basically just on the weekends kind of kept it to a low roar. And I worked for those guys for like 5 years and was able to keep that fairly, together. And then in 2013, I decided I want to start a business again, so I did. And it went well for about a year or so. And then things kind of got slow. And instead of going out and trying to build my business up, I had a little bit of, I'd made a little bit of money and whatever. So, I went back on to, bad again. And, one day I was on a bender and somehow I ended up in Sarasota in a cat house and smoking crack with hookers and went back to jail. And that was kind of the awakening for me. Shortly after that, I met somebody who attended this church. She actually sung in the band at that time. And I met her outside of the church, but we became friends, and she suggested I come here. My attorney suggested that I get into some type of program prior to going to court. So I did, and this another attorney that I hired at that time, he was able to pull a miracle and keep me out of jail and just get me on house arrest. And so I came to Celebrate Recovery. That's how I got introduced to Grace Church in 2015. And I think I got 9 months of sobriety out of that. I was on house arrest for a year and then probation for a little bit after that. I was able to get about 9 months of sobriety after that. But I didn't get a sponsor. I didn't work the steps. I'd never fully surrendered. And that was, that's why I went back out, And I stayed coming to the church. I stayed coming to Celebrate Recovery, even when I was still using, and I feel like it helped keep me from completely going off the deep end.
Well, you talk about, see, there's different kinds of bottoms. We all have our own bottoms, and some of them are just drastic. But when the flow of money keeps coming in, it's hard to recognize that bottom. But do we recognize the spiritual and emotional death that we have, even though we are still maintaining afloat, paying our bills and such?
Yes, absolutely. And I didn't recognize it at the time, but now, in hindsight, when I look back at it, the choices that I made of, the relationship choices that I made during those times, it went from really bad to much, much worse. And then what really thrust me into, this last time before coming back here, Hurricane Ian, right? So the blessing and the curse. So, Hurricane Ian rips through town, and, right after the storm, of course, I'm an electrician, so we're just slammed completely stupid busy. I get a call from a friend out on the beach, and so I'm one of the first people out there, and it was just the most. I also made a pretty strategic move at that time. Meters weren't very available. People couldn't get meter cans. You just couldn't get them.
Couldn't get what?
Meter cans. The meter for the electric meter for the side of the house.
Oh, meters.
Right. So I made a move. I bought 100 of them off of a guy off in New York. He sent them down on a pallet. So I had 100 meters, and most people didn't have any, and they would be weeks to months out. And I had them. So I'd pull on the street down there, and people, they knew the word got out quick, and people are literally there throwing cash money at me, and it was just money. And, we're working 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day. So if you try to keep that pace up, at my age, obviously, I'm gonna need some help with that. So I'm just, and I got all this money, so cocaine, and then you need the whiskey to level it back out. So it just became an everyday thing.
I'm going to back up a little bit. You talked about relationships, and both Brittany and Al can identify that while we might maintain or in our heads, what happens to those relationships that I hurt the people I love and that love me? You had 4 children. And,
yes.
And Brittany, your relationship with people closest to you, and Al on the other end of it with Kimmy and her using, and you're just being so powerless.
Yeah, you do feel powerless. Kimmy had a mental health substance for 20 years, so from a teenage girl all the way up until a grown woman. And we felt helpless over here in Fort Myers or anywhere where we went in those days. And that's one of the reasons, without telling a real long story about it, Kimmy Zone was born was because we wanted to make it easier for people that were looking for the light. And hopefully we have a place that directs you in a resource center that directs you in the different places that you can get some help. And that's basically what we do. And that search was because I got so frustrated myself.
Right. Andy, what about the kids?
So I always maintained a somewhat decent relationship with my kids. My kids they're fantastic. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not like, they knew. I mean, they had to.
How old are they now?
So they are 25, 22, 20, and 18.
Very good. Okay.
And so my oldest son, that's 25 now, in this time period, he got pretty bad. He got really bad on fentanyl and other things. And
Yes.
Tell
us about that.
So yeah, he got really bad. It was so bad at the point where his mother had thrown him out, and so he came to live with me. And I'm not in a good situation and a good place, and it's like I couldn't even get, I wanted to like try to help him, but I couldn't even get clean myself to be any type of an example for this kid. And I ended up having to throw him out of my house, and he went to Park Royal and this and that. And he ended up, I got to give it to my father. He's an absolute saint. He's just the best man I've ever known. And he took my son in, and he basically, wrote it out with him, between doing he did like a year of IOP, and he's got like over 2 years clean to this day.
Oh, congratulations.
So,
That's
yeah.
That's great. That's good.
But my dad kind of stepped in on that where I couldn't.
And the other three?
The other three. So the other three, after watching me all those years and him go through that, no, they don't do drugs, and I mean they're like, they can drink like normal people. Well, the youngest ones don't, but like my daughter, she can drink like a normal person, and she doesn't do any, really anything else. And I don't see them ever having a problem because they saw what we went through, and they don't want any of that.
All right, so you had all this cash. You came to Grace United Methodist Church when they were doing a program called Celebrate Recovery, which they are again doing to this day. That's when I met you? Is that?
Yeah, I met you back in 2015. Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then what happened? What was the bottom? Where did it go?
Yeah, so like I said, I attended until COVID hit, right? And even after COVID hit, we closed down for COVID, came back, and basically that was kind of my excuse to, whatever, okay, I'm going to split out of here because whatever, that was what I used for my excuse to not have to come anymore. And then, like I said, it was a couple of years after that Ian hit, and that's when it really just went down from there.
Tell us about it.
So yeah, I was using every day. I mean, it would be nothing for me to do an 8-ball or more a day and drink a fifth of whiskey a day, and that was like child's play, and my nose my nose was just like about to fall off of my face. It was just I would get nosebleeds, like the tissues everywhere. It was just terrible. It was disgusting. It was terrible. It was awful, and like so I even. And then I got into this relationship with this horribly toxic woman, and we were living in Cape Coral, and one night I just I'd had enough, and I had been so messed up for so long it didn't even occur to me that I should go back to Grace Church. So I went to I called it White Sands, and I went and did a couple weeks at White Sands, and I come out of White Sands, and the woman who I was living with was supposed to come. I went to the one in Plant City. And she was supposed to come pick me up. We had gotten to an argument or whatever on the phone. So instead of having her pick me up, I called this other girl I was talking to who lived in Jacksonville at the time. And she came and picked me up. We went to Clearwater Beach. And I come out of White Sands and I'm drinking and I'm doing Molly because it's not cocaine. So I'm a cocaine addict and I'm not an alcoholic. So I can, that's how crazy it was, So right out of that, I think I stayed off the coke for maybe 3 weeks or so from that. And then in that time, I thought, hey, I'm working on the beach. I got money. I'm like, I'm going to buy a house on Fort Myers Beach. And I did. And we're getting ready to move into the house there because it was a still house. The bottom got screwed up, but the top was good. And I was going to buy it and fix the bottom up. Well, the day I closed on it, and that night, wake up the next morning, my neighbor calls me and she's like, have you seen the news? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, you don't know? I'm like, no. My house burned to the ground that night. It was on all the news channels and everything. So, and of course it was an electrical fire. And I'm an electrical contractor. Fortunately, I'd never touched any of the electric in this house. But, it wasn't a good look exactly.
What's the point where you in the lieu of time here?
Yes.
So, what is the point where you just couldn't take it anymore? And what did you do?
Yeah. So the point after I bought the house there, whatever, it burned down. I met this wonderful woman here, and I was still living with the other woman when I met. Well, we had known each other. We had known each other.
I don't think you had it that bad.
This is how bad it is, right? Well, and we had known each other before, but she was gone, and she came back to town, and so I get the great idea. Well, I'm just going to buy a camper and put it on my lot down on Fort Myers Beach, and so we moved into there, and we talked about we want to get clean, and and we're living in this camper, and she's in the depths of addiction, and so am I. And then the aha moment, John, was when she went to where you were working to fake a drug test, and you knew she faked a drug test, and y'all got to talking, and she comes home and she says, "Oh, met this guy John, and he talked to me, and he told me about Celebrate Recovery," and I'm like, John Nichols. And if that's not a God moment, if that wasn't God speaking through you to get me back here, I don't know what was. And that's what got me back in here on August 12th of 2024, and here I am today.
Good job.
Well, so if you had to talk to somebody else in recovery, you have a sponsor now.
I do.
And you're working steps.
I am. Our last step study meeting is next Wednesday.
So you're doing a step study with a group of people, with a group of men, I hope.
Yes,
right? Good.
correct.
I shouldn't say I hope. That's how it's set up.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
And now you also work in steps with the sponsor one-on-one too?
Yes, correct.
Very good, very good. You sponsoring men yet?
Not yet. One feller had asked me if I would sponsor him, and at the time, I wasn't. I think I was on my 6th or 7th step, and I wasn't sure. I'm like, I don't know if I even can. So I asked my sponsor, and he says, yes, you can. You can take him as far as you have been, and he gave me the layout for him, and then I talked to him, whatever, and it just, I guess it wasn't his time. It wasn't. But yeah. I'm open to sponsoring someone now if anybody needs a sponsor.
Very, very good. So what if you had to look in the camera? Actually, you're on TV, you know that. So if you had to look in the camera and say something to somebody that is like you, that is struggling, maybe that hasn't reached a bottom financially, but has reached a bottom emotionally and spiritually, what would you say to them?
Don't wait another day. Don't wait another minute. Do it now. You will be so glad that you did. My life is so much better now. It was like a weight had been lifted off of me, and the chains have been broken because, and I know it's like, sounds cliche, whatever, and I don't care, because I was in complete bondage with cocaine. Like, it ruled my life. My entire life revolved around making sure I had enough cocaine to get through the day, and making sure that I was good and that I wasn't going to run out. And it was, and then I had to have to worry about, okay, well, now I have to go to work, and I got to make sure my nose isn't running, or you can't see the rawness inside of it when I go to talk to clients. Like, I don't want to be sniffling or be, congested when I go talk to clients. I don't want to look like a cokehead, like, even though I was a raging cokehead.
Let me tell you something. They knew.
I'm sure they did.
Very,
yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, give Andy a nice round of applause. So we're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we're going to hear from a representative from Betty Ford Hazleton. Is that correct, Al?
Yes.
Kimmy's Corner. Karen, right?
There.
Very good. All right, you're listening to Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. Don't forget, get your raffle tickets. We're raffling off a ton of prizes right after the show.
Struggling with life's challenges? At The Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Feeling trapped in addiction? White Sands Treatment Center offers more than just detox. We build lasting recovery. With 3 inpatient and 18 outpatient locations located throughout Florida, we offer services from medically supervised detox to inpatient, outpatient, and sober living programs. Our services include individual therapy, family therapy, life skills, and small group sizes. Our amenities include yoga and massage therapy with recreational activities, including gyms, pools, and spa. Newsweek has named White Sands one of America's best addiction treatment centers 5 years in a row. You deserve quality care in a safe, supportive setting. Call White Sands Helpline at 833-423-2338 or visit whitesandstreatment.com and start your recovery journey today.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmy's Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmy's Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmysrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Call it all angels.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rated R for Recovery. That's Rated R, the number 4, recovery.com. If you don't already know this, we are a faith-driven program bringing hope, healing, and restoration to individuals and families impacted by addiction. Through interviews, sharing information, and entertainment, we strive to be a catalyst for change for all that wish to recover. And once again, we're so grateful that we have this. You know, I was talking to some people last week after the show, and this is not about Kimmy's Recovery Zone. This is not about Rated R for Recovery. This is not about Brittany or Al or John or Betty Ford Hazelton. This is about a unity in the community. This is about coming together as a group of people, sharing our own experience, strength, and hope, that hopefully we can pass something on that was freely given to us. And that's why we do this, Al.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Yeah, Brittany, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this segment of the show is affectionately called Kimmy's Corner. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I would ask if Xavier could maybe stop talking out there and close the door. I should start out just with a big call out. And
that was a good call out, right?
Al,
there.
No, I wanted to hear
Did you
us,
get
and
that
he's
on
a distraction.
video? No.
Okay, so...
yeah, but I did not. I've listened before, but I didn't know what the second half of the show meant.
Well, it's just all one show. And what really exciting thing is that you can be on the show again when you're at Party in the Park, because we'll have a table there and we'll be broadcasting live.
Is this a
Party.
soft sell or a hard sell? You
whatever
better be
sell
there.
you want to make
okay.
it.
We'll be there.
All right, so it's not a white cell, it's not a red cell, it's whatever cell you want to make it. And who are you? Not to be confused with the average supermodel on the street. Your name?
Woo! I'm
Get it
Kristen
out.
Reagan, and I'm with Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. And well, thank you guys. I'm the outreach manager. We have a residential and outpatient facility in Naples, and I am super proud and happy to be here and that you guys are all here. This is really nice.
Well, we're proud to have you here for many, many reasons. One, because of your own story, and you'll tell us a little bit about that. But Betty Ford's is a very interesting story. Betty Ford was the wife of a president of the United States back in the 1970s, and she suffered for many, many, many years, and with addiction and alcohol. So
I'm looking around the room to see how many people were around when President Ford was president. Just saying. Anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah.
But that is actually true. And she couldn't stop drinking. The first lady could not stop drinking. First lady was in the closet, drunk.
Yes. Yes.
And then what happened?
She turned the light on, found out she was in the closet, and she came out. And so with that, I mean, just the legacy alone and the millions of people by now that she has really helped is just amazing. What an amazing story. And I think that's really where the point is with us. We don't realize the power that we have when we're sober and clean and what we can do to change the world. Each person in this room has that power now. And isn't it wonderful that we can go out and change the world? Andy was just changing the world up here. Andy, what a great story, man. You're the man, I'll tell you that. So at any rate, let's so Betty Ford and all that information that I just put out there, what really drew you to Betty Ford?
To
Tell
working
me some
there?
of that story, yeah.
Yeah, well, so when Betty Ford first, she didn't seek treatment, skipping and jumping, and none of us were excited to walk into the doors of treatment. But back then, even there weren't treatment centers on every corner and places you couldn't Google and find what you were looking for. So they actually tried to put her in a couple psychiatric hospitals, and they had no idea what to do with her because she didn't need to wear a straitjacket and be in a padded room. She was just a smart, beautiful woman who was the first lady and had a problem because when she had one drink, she couldn't stop. And I know in her story she has pills and other things, but to speak to the alcohol, I can. But for my own journey, I've more on the business side of things. I'm the outreach manager for Hazelden, so I make sure people in the community know about us and make sure we have good relationships and that we have a census and patients turn up. But
Do you know Lance?
yes,
Okay.
I have some very, very good, close colleagues and friends. People on your journey, it's amazing because it's not just work, it's my passion, and I get to do it with people that I love, and that's really cool. But to answer Al's question, and not to make it long-winded, growing up, my dad was an alcoholic, my long lineage of alcoholics, and I was working as a TV news reporter in Tampa, Florida, and I had just seen so much, bad story after bad story after bad story, and I got out of that, and I had no idea what I was going to do. So I was interviewing at different companies, and I fell into this place, and when I walked in the door, I thought, man, I've been here before, and I don't even know why. I can't remember it. I got the job. It was called Fairwinds Treatment Center. My sister she was there for a long time because she struggled really bad with anorexia, the feeding tube, the hospital. She went to facilities all around the country. But I started from the ground up there. I was a tech. I answered phone calls. I would help clean up, help serve food. And I just kept going, kept coming back. And I had a real passion and love for it. And so I've been doing this for probably 15 years. And I used to hear Hazelden Betty Ford, and I thought, I don't want some stuffy Hazelden Betty Ford. That's just for rich people. And I had a lot of stigmatism towards it, but you guys, it's not. It's amazing how many people we help. In the past 10 years, we've become in network with most insurances. We're a foundation, so we're a nonprofit. We offer scholarships. We do sliding scale. We have a great milieu of patients. We'll treat attorneys, doctors. We treat people who've been living on the streets for years. And we believe that everybody gets treatment together. It doesn't matter who you are or what you've done. We're all here for a reason.
Absolutely, and you're here for a reason, and a real good reason, to spread the word
Yeah.
of what Betty Ford does. But again, I think this is all about connections, and we're connected to each other so well, and I think that's what really helps us understand what's going on with us. But when you go back and look at those days from then to now, and just imagine in those days what they did when you went in for recovery. You were treated as a criminal. And even as I was growing up, people thought, well, they belong in jail, that kind of. And look how far we've come. We've come a long, long way. We're still lost in the woods because we're not providing enough services. We're not providing insurances and things like that. But in Betty Ford's, how do they handle people that might not have insurance?
So what we'll do is, we are like the Cigna Connects and the, why am I blanking on the term for it?
I don't know.
You might know.
I might know, but
Like the marketplace plans.
Oh, very good. I was right on the tip of my tongue.
You had
Yes.
it. We can help people sign up to get something, anything. And
Okay, let's say I show up at your door.
Okay.
I'm smoking crack every day, I'm smoking meth, and I'm shooting dope, and I can't stop. Will you help me?
I will help you either.
Well, will
If
Betty
you don't
Ford
co-
help me? How will Betty Ford
Betty
help
Ford's not alive, but if she.
me? No, I don't mean Betty.
No, I know. I was making
I
a
love
joke.
this woman.
You-
I love this woman.
I
So
love Betty
how
Ford.
will, you know what I
So,
mean?
no, exactly. I'm sorry to make a joke. It's my job to, if we don't have a bed or if I cannot get you into our site right then and there, I'll get you a place.
Do you have a
that
detox
can.
there?
We do not have a detox, and that's because that's a good question. They were built like condos, so everybody has like apartment style living. And there's kitchens and washer and dryer. So when people are with us, like, we believe you're a person still. You can have your phone, whether you're working, whether you're trying to go back to school, whether you're trying to keep your children and keep some kind of family going. You got to be able to kind of do stuff for yourself. So we send people out to like a medical detox.
Very good.
Where, you
Sure.
can heal and
And
then
if
you come to
Then
us.
come back. Now, if I don't have any money or any insurance, what happens then?
Well, then, okay. Then it depends, on your situation. Are you going to be able to get back to work? Are you going to be able to give any money from anybody, anywhere? And if not, like, there are places, like,
Oh, yes,
other
yes. I'm
places I
just
can
talking
work
about
with,
Betty
but-
Ford Hazelton. I come to you and I, with all good intentions, I'm a basically intelligent human being. Let's say I'm a college graduate, I have an associate's degree, whatever it is, but I can't stop drinking.
We're going to help
And
you
I
with that.
don't have money right now. And I've given away everything for drugs and alcohol. And then you help me and you send me to a medical detox and I come back to you. What's the next step at your organization?
Residential treatment, or we do day treatment. If you live close by and can kind of get to us, do treatment with us during the day, and it's really, really set up nicely because let's say after treatment, you go grab pizza with a couple other people and there's triggers all over. There's alcohol, you're not so protected like you are at a residential site. So you come back and you're able to process it with people, with your therapist, with the techs, with another patient there, and say, man, I thought I was ready, and I wasn't. So I feel like our treatment there is pretty.
So you
it's a
offer
neat part of it.
PHP and IOP?
Yes,
Is that
and
treatment?
residential treatment.
Very good, very good. Al?
Yeah, no, so basically that brings us to what's really big today is collaborating with different agencies. So whatever you can't deliver right then and there, so much like Kimmy Zone does.
That's exactly what I
We
was.
collaborate.
Yes.
The first person I call, I hate saying it, Lance, because I'm going to drive business your way tonight. But, I call Lance, for instance, and I'd say, Lance, I have this problem. Well, do they have insurance? No, they don't have insurance. Today was a good instance. We went and got them insurance, so to speak, And so then we will follow that through with different agencies. We collaborate today so everybody understands that out there. This is one of the best collaboration town that I've ever worked in. I've been doing this a long, long time. And here, when we first came here, it wasn't that way. But today,
Not at all.
everybody in Lee County or in
Yep.
this area is trying to help. Thank you.
Yeah. And so I wasn't trying to put you on the spot with that. I was trying to get to the point where
I
a
hear you
lot of
now.
addicts and alcoholics are coming out of jails, or they're coming off the street, or they're coming out of the woods. And that situation, that way, that's what I was getting to, is to pull in the network part of this, where Kimmy's can help them get a driver's license or an ID or a social security card, and then get them insurance, then get them to an agency like yours. See, this is what I was.
Oh, that's perfect. And sometimes we don't even need an agency like me. Sometimes AA celebrate
Absolutely.
recovery that we do.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
there's online therapy. We do not believe in one avenue of recovery, and that's it. And I totally believe in so many different avenues. And
yeah, absolutely.
you know, we go through a big thing where people are looking and they'll Google treatment for something. And these places, guys, in Miami, in God knows where, show up, and it's so misleading because they're not in our backyard. They don't take our insurance. They're Google looking for treatment and that kind of thing. That's a scary, tough place to be. So that's why this network is so important, because
Absolutely.
of the organizations that we have here. And Al's right. There's a very, very strong recovery community here.
Yeah, it is. And the insurance, I think if I'm looking at it, the insurance is probably the biggest part of the puzzle that we have to solve sooner or later someday. Hopefully they'll get on the ball with that, but that's beyond me.
Do
I know.
do 12-step meetings come into Betty Ford Hazelton to offer their services?
Yeah, we
So-
do. We do. We have speakers come in. We go out to meetings to, I'd say 90% of people that come to treatment with us, maybe 5% have had exposure to AA.
Okay.
So it's really for us to educate people and say, you don't have to do it, but let's give it a shot. Let's go to a meeting on the beach. Let's have somebody come in and tell us about, like he just did, what life was like with hookers and the thing and the thing.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and now look at his beautiful girlfriend with him now.
Yeah, look at her. Give her a round of applause. Way to go.
And we
Absolutely, absolutely. And it all started with those two people in Akron, Ohio, putting together a.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
'Cause I was-
Yes, I'm serious.
Yeah, you're
we're
right.
putting
That was a
together a
good
12-step
history.
program. Yes, and and there's a reason why, if you've been to treatment before, that there's a reason why those 12 steps are on the wall at every treatment center in the United States. There's a reason for that, or 99.9% of them, because it's 100% effective to work. Is it the only way? No. There's clinical. There's other things. It's what I know. That's what I. But anyway, so tell us a little bit more about the process that you go through at Betty Ford Hazelton when you first get there. You get evaluated, that type of thing.
Yeah, we'll do an assessment, and we used to, back in the day, it was straight substance use disorder, which, I think even Bill, back in the 20s and 30s, knew that an alcoholic wasn't just an alcoholic. You always had mental health stuff you were struggling with. So we are fully co-occurring. So we have a psychiatrist who will work with you on your depression, your anxiety, your ADHD, and why you've been numbing and filling yourself with filling yourself with junk because
You can say shit.
Yeah, you can say
Or jelly. Jelly was cool.
because you want to numb
Oh,
that,
shit.
Jelly.
You couldn't say.
You can say it. I
Now,
can
you
say it.
couldn't say shit in Tampa when you were on the air, could you?
No, I could
you
not.
could not.
I got in
was
trouble.
just saying.
But we were numbing with all that stuff, But if you have the time and the opportunity and you can come in and you can meet with our psychiatrist and work through your trauma with our therapists and say, you know what, maybe this medicine works for me and I'm not going to judge myself and beat myself up because I'm taking it. Maybe MAT treatment means I'm not going to go back out again. And who the heck cares? I am not someone to judge you and what you're going to do to stay clean and sober, and you guys should never feel like you're being judged by whatever you need to do to stay the path and keep moving forward. I feel like lately I hear a lot of, oh, well, I don't know, you're doing this, that's your life, and you do what you need to do, and we're definitely firm believers in that too. And everybody has their own path, and we truly believe that too.
Yeah, we spoke there one night, and
Yes.
yeah, and that was really nice. And do you tell people when they go there, because I'm a big believer, our meetings, NA, AA, 12 steps, all,
CA.
they saved more lives in this world than anybody ever did with hospitals and everything else.
Yeah.
They're just so needed, they really are. So, but do you tell them where to go for NA, AA meetings and stuff like that?
Yeah, and now with that app
Counter
on
for-
your
Yeah.
phone,
There's
like,
an app
you
for
can
everything.
I know, you can go
Okay.
anywhere, and it's perfect. And no matter what kind of meeting, we try to tell everybody the 90 and 90 days, even if you're doing Zoom meetings. I mean, I know for me, I needed treatment, but some people they find sobriety in the rooms, and that's all they need, and rock on, because that's that's good too.
They're fortunate.
Yeah.
I wasn't that fortunate.
Me neither.
But at any rate, this is really a great meeting, Andy, and your beautiful lady there. Thank you
Jessica.
so much. I appreciate that. And everybody out here, just a little bit of a reminder, be kind, love somebody, talk to somebody, ask them how they feel, smile at them as you're walking down the street. Everybody needs something, even just a little hello or something like that, but give the love out there. We all need it. Thank you.
Give Kristen
Thank
a nice
you.
round of applause, too.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, Tim, watch those guns, baby. All right, so when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we have Nashville recording artists Alan and Kelly going to entertain us. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery at ratedrforrecovery.com. We'll be right back.
Struggling with life's challenges? At the Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Feeling trapped in addiction? White Sands Treatment Center offers more than just detox. We build lasting recovery. With 3 inpatient and 18 outpatient locations located throughout Florida, we offer services from medically supervised detox to inpatient, outpatient, and sober living programs. Our services include individual therapy, family therapy, life skills, and small group sizes. Our amenities include yoga and massage therapy with recreational activities, including gyms, pools, and spa. Newsweek has named White Sands one of America's best addiction treatment centers 5 years in a row. You deserve quality care in a safe, supportive setting. Call White Sands Helpline at 833-423-2338 or visit whitesandstreatment.com and start your recovery journey today.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmy's Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmy's Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmysrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all angels.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rated R for Recovery. That's Rated R, the number 4, recovery.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure. These two people, or friends here, have been champions and have helped us for weeks upon weeks, and they are extremely popular in all parts of the world with their latest album, Under God, just selling how many copies now?
5, 6.
6, okay, very good. All right, but they are Nashville recording artists, Alan and Kelly. Let's hear it for them.
Thank you, John. Thanks for being here tonight, and thank you for the wonderful stories and information about what the community is doing for recovery. If you haven't had a chance in previous weeks, we do have these little QR code business cards. They're sitting up by our t-shirts in the back. You can access our music, our website, streaming services, that sort of thing. And we do have t-shirts for sale as well. If you're interested, come see us after for that. We're going to play a couple songs for you to close out the night.
Yeah, we're first and foremost, I'm in recovery, she's in recovery, I'm a recovered alcoholic. Without the power of God, without the power of the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, I couldn't be sitting up here, we couldn't be sitting up here doing this. We've played a lot of cool places in Nashville. I can honestly tell you, sitting here playing music in front of whoever's out here is one of the highlights, and it just gets me so fired up. I've chased down the money, I've chased my career, I've chased down relationships, I've chased whiskey with beer. But now that I've found the one way, lifted up out of the grave, I ain't chasing the wind anymore. Now I live for reaching for heaven and treasures in store, waiting for me, setting me free from everything I used to believe in. I ain't chasing the wind.
I'm striving for something that satisfies not just the here and now. The high never dies.
All the world's desires have passed away. Life with you's what I wanna chase. I ain't chasing the wind anymore. Now I live for reaching for heaven and treasures in store, waiting for me, setting me free from everything I used to believe in. I ain't chasing the wind.
Whatever comes my way, I'll keep loose. 'Cause nothing matters more
chasing the wind anymore. Now I live for reaching for heaven and treasures in store, waiting for me, setting me free from everything. No, I ain't chasing the wind anymore. Now I live for reaching for heaven and treasures in store, waiting for me, setting me free from everything I used to believe in. I ain't chasing the wind anymore.
Chasing the wind.
I ain't chasing the wind.
Nice round of applause for Alan and Kelly. So for those of you watching at home, I don't want to stand in front of you guys. For those of you watching at home, you might want to come down here because every show we do, we have a raffle. Oh, yes, where you get a raffle ticket, and there's thousands of fabulous prizes. And Xavier, stand up, Xavier. That's Xavier. He's a crowd favorite, that's right. And he has the raffle tickets. So if you don't have a raffle ticket, raise your hand, and he'll be walking around and give you a raffle ticket so you can win the 2025 Chevy.
Tahoe?
What was that?
Tahoe?
No, what?
Oh, that was last week.
Last week, yeah,
week.
exactly.
Last week. Sorry,
All right, so anyway, so go ahead, and then would you guys do another song?
We'd love to.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, you want to introduce the song, or just want to go right, let's have at it.
Go for it.
Alan and Kelly, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we got a lot of families. This affects everybody. And when you get into recovery, it doesn't mean everything always goes smoothly. And this was sort of inspired with that.
Yeah, I was inspired by just some things we saw, some people we were helping go through, and then in turn, things we were going through as well.
It's called Let Go, and it's off our new album. My grip is so tight, won't put the past behind. Try to control and arrange things I can't change. It only keeps dragging me down. I've got to let go. I've got to let go. Live and let live. Forget and forgive. It's not easy, but even so, I've got to let go.
Can't take back what I did. Hold on to these what ifs I carry inside, relive in my mind. It only keeps dragging me down. I've got to let go. I've got to
let go. Live and let live. Forget and forgive. It's not easy, but even so,
I've got to let go.
Got to let go. What's done is over with. When we hang on, nobody wins. I've got to let go.
I've got to let go.
We've got to let go. We've got to let go. Live and let live. Forget and forgive. It's not easy, but even so, we've got to let go. We've got to let go.
Ooh, we've got to let go. We've got to let go.
All right, let's have a nice round of applause. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Nashville recording artists,
Nashville.
Alan and Kelly. Join us again next week and each and every Thursday night at 7 o'clock for another edition of Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. Good night.